Hey guys, Stark 2 here, and today I've got a really exciting video. I've got the iPad 3 here right beside me, and I'm about to do an in-depth review of it. I've had it now for a few weeks, and we'll definitely see if it's resolutionary. Thanks. Okay guys, so we're back here with the new iPad, or the iPad 3, whatever you want to call it. The question is now, what will the next iPad be called, if there will be one? So, basically the new features of the iPad 3 compared to the iPad 2 are the new A5X, which Apple have brought out to compete with the Tegra 3 for quad-core graphics and for gaming, and basically for the Retina display, because it needs that extra power to power this beautiful display, which is over 3 million pixels, which is astonishing when you think that a 42-inch or even a 60-inch television doesn't even have that amount of pixels in it, or that pixel density, not even close. It's just amazing. At 264 pixels per inch, this display is absolutely beautiful. And I will get to the display very, very soon. Don't want to keep you waiting on that. So, the front-facing camera is the same as the iPad 2. No different, just a normal VGA camera. Shoots at 480p, the same difference. On the back, however, there is a difference. The back camera, which is just above here, right there, is a 5 megapixel iSight camera, which uses the same optics as the iPhone 4S. Shoots 1080p full HD video. On the top of that you can see the power button. On the top of that again, on the other side, you can see the headphone jack. The other side you can see the orientation lock or silent on-off switch, and the volume rockers as well. The back you have your Apple logo, and down below obviously the model number, which is, this model is the A1416 because it's the 16GB Wi-Fi version. The reason why I didn't get the 4G LTE is because basically my country will not even get the likes of 4G for another few years, maybe a decade, but whatever, it's not worth me getting the 4G, not yet anyway. Saying that, the device is slightly bigger than the iPad 2, which is very unusual because usually things get smaller and they get bigger. Led into that one, didn't I? But whatever. Yeah, so basically it's about a millimeter thicker than the iPad 3, and it is about a pound heavier than the iPad 2. So it's not that different to the iPad 2 on the outside, but what's inside is what counts. As I've already said, the A5X chip, which Apple brought out to compete with the NVIDIA Tegra 3 in most Android and other tablets out there, which support quad-core graphics, which now the new iPad does, as I've already said, because it needs to power that beautiful Retina display. So, we're going to get into the inside of the device. By that I mean the Retina display, the A5X chip, the quad-core graphics, and a few apps to show you how it performs, a few websites. So let's get into this. Okay guys, so we're back, and the iPad 3 is looking absolutely beautiful with its new Retina display. I have the brightness turned up, and it looks pretty crisp, very nice, beautiful. It's so crisp that you can't even see it over this camera. This camera does shoot 1080p, but as you can see, the brightness is just lowered down a little bit. It is just so beautiful that it cannot be portrayed over a camera. You'd have to see this for your own eyes, really. You have to see it. Basically, it's twice as much pixel density as or 4 times as much pixel density as the iPad 2, which is absolutely amazing. How they crammed 3 million pixels into such a small display of 9.7 inches when a 42-inch plasma screen TV would only have about 1 million to 2 million pixels. That is just crazy. So basically the iPad has the same, new iPad 3 has the same amount of battery life as the iPad 2. It has 10 hours, roughly, give or take, whatever you open. If you're playing games, obviously it will not last 10 hours. But from my experience, it has lasted 10 hours, some days even more, from web browsing. If you're a guy or a woman even that watches lots of videos and plays lots of games and opens lots of apps on the iPad, definitely you will not get 10 hours out of it, maybe 5 to 8 hours out of it tops. If you're playing games, maybe less than 5 hours. Especially games that are built for the Retina display, which would be the likes of the new Need for Speeds. Most of the new apps like Sky Gambler's Air Supremacy, which uses a lot of power because of the Retina display, because it has been supported for that. It's one of the first games that did, including Infinity Blade, which is also now supports the Retina display on the new iPad. So There's been a lot of battery issues about the iPad as its insane charging time. Well, that's because the old battery in the iPad 2 was a 26 watt per hour. This new iPad is 45 watt per hour, which is a bigger battery, which means it puts out more power. Obviously, to power the Retina display, which takes up tons amount of power, as you can imagine. Uh, Basically, as I've said, I could get about 10 hours out of this thing from just normal web browsing. If I watch videos, maybe 8 hours tops. And I do play a lot of apps, and some days it will need a lot more charging if I do open those apps. So basically, what I've noticed about the battery issue is that after a few cycle charges, it does tend to slow down the battery process. As in, the first time I charged this thing from 0 to 100%, it took about maybe 10 hours, which is a 10% every hour, which is crazy. A few days ago, I charged it, for instance, from 0% to 100%, and it only took 6 hours. So it's like that with every cycle, the battery gets used to its power consumption and charges a lot more efficiently. Now, I don't know if that in time will change, and eventually I'll charge it for an hour and get only an hour out of it. Obviously that will happen eventually if the iPad is charging a lot and has been used a lot, because that's just normal with the lithium-ion batteries that are in most chargeable devices. So that's with the battery issue anyway. And the heating issue, I don't even notice it. Honestly, I don't think it heats up that much. Keeps your hands warm anyway in the winter. That's what I say. It's not that hot at all, so it's not going to burn you or give you third-degree burns around like that. It's amazing how it's not overheats with the amount of stuff it has to power with the new A5X chip supporting it. There's no way of telling this from the iPad, from the iPad 2. There's no way from telling it. The only way telling a different iPad from an iPad is if it has a 4G LTE on the back, which is the black bar on the back of the 4Gs and the 3G. That's the only way of different the iPads from iPad, if you have 4G or Wi-Fi only. There's really no way to distinguish it. Only if you have an iPad 2 right next to the iPad 3 and compare the screens, then you'll definitely know the difference, because obviously the crisper screen is going to be the iPad. The camera, you could definitely tell the difference, obviously, but you still need two iPads, one iPad 2 and one iPad 3. So really there's no way to tell the difference, because you're not going to tell by hand unless you're a weighing scale. You will not tell the difference if you were to weigh both of them. You would not know. So let's just have a look at this beautiful Retina display. As you can see, it flicks through the screens very efficiently. There's no lag, as usual. There's usually a bit of lag when the keyboard comes up on most iOS devices, but from what I've experienced, there has been no lag. The device does not freeze at all, like my iPad 2. That did freeze quite a bit when I had a lot of apps in the multitasking, but I don't really have that much apps in the multitasking at the moment, but I have had hundreds of apps in the multitasking at some stage on some of my iOS devices, and it wouldn't freeze. So unless that's just a problem with some iPads, I don't know. But with my one, it's okay. So yeah, so it's a beautiful display, guys. What apps I'd recommend, which I don't have on it at the moment because I had to do a restore the other day for some reason, because I updated from the raw. I had to update the OS on it. I don't know why. Something had happened to the OS and it had to re-download everything, and for some reason didn't download most of the games that I wanted it to come on it, like Sky Gamblers and Infinity Blade, which I really wanted to show you guys, but they would take hours to transfer from a laptop because the laptop broke. Well, not actually the laptop, the charger broke. I had to get a new one, and it took ages to ship out a new charger. Is why I haven't been uploading videos, because if I was to upload it from the likes of my iPhone or my iPod or anything like that, it would take hours, and I just simply didn't have the battery. The iOS device didn't have the battery life to upload 1080p videos constantly streaming to YouTube. And I didn't have the processing power, obviously, and I couldn't edit the videos, and I couldn't do anything without my laptop, so that's probably why there's been a lack of videos on my channel for a while. So, sorry, back to the iPad. So basically, this thing is just beautiful. I cannot really say an in-depth review. I would go into Safari and open up a few web pages and show you, but I really don't think that would show you the beauty of the device. You really have to get this device for yourself. Try it out. Put the apps you like on it. Customize it to your own liking. I know iOS isn't as customizable as Android, but you can definitely customize your pages. I mean, you don't really need to customize, like, who wants a weather tab up in the corner and something else down here and something else down here? I don't really want that. I want simplicity out of my hands where I just have to slide a button and there's all my apps. I don't want to be, having to customize where the weather app goes. I am a fan of Android. I do love Android phones. I have seen a few of my friends' Androids, like the Galaxy S3 running Jelly Bean, the new Jelly Bean running system, which looks absolutely amazing. But I'm not an Apple fanboy either, but I do love the iPad, and that's why I got it over most Android tablets. I was thinking about getting the Transformer Prime, and I was even thinking about getting the Google Nexus 7, which is going to be its main competitor in 2013, I think. Anyway, maybe even might surpass the iPad 3's sales this year. Who knows? Because it is cheaper, and this screen on it is beautiful. The Nexus 7, it is a beautiful screen. But I went for the iPad simply because of the Retina display. So another way actually to tell that it's an iPad 3 is the dictation down the bottom. Hey, just testing the dictation on this beautiful iPad. Just see if the dictation got that. Well, it's not really what I said, but limitations to the dictation and testing list. But however, it's not perfect, guys, but when Siri comes onto the iPad in iOS 6, I'm sure that will be way better. So, it's not Siri dictation, it's just normal dictation like an app, but it works and then it doesn't work. But my accent is a lot different to other people's. So if you have a very clear accent and, well, no accent at all, it will work. So, thanks, guys. This has been my review of the iPad 3. Well, not really a review, but what I thought, what I think of it. Because really I cannot tell you, this is just my opinion, I cannot tell you what this device is, how it performs, because, to be honest, I don't really test devices that way. I like them because, I get them because, well, I need them. I like using them, they make my life a lot simpler, so, basically the iPad 3 is a 10 out of 10 for me. Basically, the screen's beautiful, A5X chip is fast, it's snappy, iOS is simple, iOS 6 coming out soon, can't wait to see what that does to the iPad, even though we all know what's coming. But something might surprise us, you never know. 200 more new features than iOS 5, so we'll see. And I'll do an in-depth review of the iOS 6 now that I do have my laptop back. We will be getting into a lot more videos on this channel. So please comment if you like this iPad. Subscribe, definitely, that would help me out a bunch. And more importantly, view the video. Thanks very much. Comment, rate, subscribe. Peace.